Hello everyone. I'm continuing with my World Cup history. I'd given the 1992 World Cup in my last World Cup history video. Now I'm putting the 1996 World Cup video. Also another fascinating World Cup. I mean, considering my young age and I was in school. It was the first World Cup where there was a quarter-final phase, and there were 12 teams that played in the World Cup. It was Australia, England, West Indies, New Zealand, South Africa, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Zimbabwe, and then the associate countries Kenya, UAE, and Netherlands. So 12 teams playing two groups, six matches each. South Africa were unbeaten in their group stage, winning all their five matches under Hansi Cronje. And one notable thing about the World Cup from upstart, I'm saying, is that Kalivudarna and Jayasuriya made it their own, going hard at the first 15 overs, where the two field restrictions were there. Only two fielders allowed the circle, and they were really capitalizing on that. I mean, that was a World Cup that was made famous for that. And in the group stage, I mean, it was an important match where India were beaten by Australia. Marco getting 100 there. Marco had an excellent World Cup, scoring some hundreds. Sachin Tendulkar was the top scorer of the World Cup. No surprises, getting a lot of runs. He scored 523 runs in that World Cup. And Anil Kumble was the highest wicket taker with 15 wickets. And in one of the league matches, Gary Kirsten of South Africa scored 188 not out against UAE, and that was the highest ever one-day World Cup score at that moment. I mean, it surpassed Vivian Rich's 181 not out against Sri Lanka in 1987. And there was a very big upset that happened in the World Cup when Kenya played West Indies. Kenya only got 166 runs, with Steve Tikolo getting 29 runs. But West Indies collapsed and they were like 90 all out, I think. And Maurice Odumbe got 3 wickets that day. So that was the biggest upset of the World Cup. Before that, Zimbabwe, Australia in the earlier World Cups once. After that, that was the biggest upset in the World Cup history. And another thing that was notable about this World Cup, I mean, this World Cup was called the Wills World Cup, by the way, and it was played in India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. And West Indies and Australia, both of them refused to travel to Colombo and play for safety reasons, and they forfeited the match. So 2 points each were given to Sri Lanka. West Indies and Australia both forfeiting their matches against Sri Lanka in Colombo. So that's something that hasn't happened in World Cups before. And in the quarterfinals, England beat, Sri Lanka beat England in the first quarterfinals, mid score to around 240, 230, 240 score, and Sanath Jayasuriya getting around 82 runs for Sri Lanka. He was in form in that tournament, and Sri Lanka beating England there. And in the next quarterfinals, India beat Pakistan in that high voltage match at Singhaswamy Stadium, Bangalore. India got around 287, I think 281 or 287, batting first, high score. Navjot Singh Sidhu getting good runs. And Samir Sohail and Saeed Anwar were looking so good. And I have mentioned in one of my videos, Sohail hit Venkatesh Prasad for 2 consecutive fours, and he pointed the bat towards the boundary, meaning that if he pitches the ball up again, he's going to hit it for a 4, and that really pumped up Venkatesh Prasad. And the very next ball, he cleaned up Amir Sohail, bowled him, and that changed the match. The momentum of the match changed. Venkatesh Prasad took 3 wickets in that match. He always played well against Pakistan in World Cup. So India winning that match against Pakistan, quarterfinals at Chinnaswamy, Bangalore. And the third semi-final was kind of a very big upset at that point, because South Africa were unbeaten in the World Cup, and South Africa played West Indies. And batting first, South Africa, there was a blunder. South Africa dropped Alan Donald from the team. I don't know why that happened. And Paul Adams was played. And Brian Lara scored a magnificent 111. And Brian Lara gave West Indies a very good total. And batting second, South Africa collapsed. I mean, it's notable that Gary Kirsten, the man in form for South Africa, was hit wicket against Curtly Ambrose in that match. That doesn't happen much. He was hit wicket again to Curtly Ambrose, and that did lose South Africa's rhythm, I can say. But the spin bowling also came into effect. Roger Harper, a lot of older generation people would know. Roger Harper, not Hooper, Carl Hooper. Roger Harper bowled, and he took 4 wickets in that match against South Africa, and South Africa were beaten by West Indies in that quarterfinals. That was a very shock result, considering the fact that West Indies were beaten by Kenya just in the group stage, and the way South Africa were unbeaten in the group stages. And then in the last quarterfinals, Australia beat Netherlands. Australia beat New Zealand. New Zealand batting first put up a very good total. Chris Harris got 130 odd runs, batting a century there, and Australia chased it. Marco got another 100, and that was a match where Mark Taylor sent Shane Warne as a pinch hitter. He didn't get a lot of runs, but he got around 25, 30 runs, but it was quick runs, and it was a needed innings at that stage. Shane Warne being sent as a pinch hitter, and Australia won that match. Marco again got a big 100. Marco was in excellent form in that World Cup. He and Tendulkar were the two. Tendulkar and Marco were the two informed batsmen of the World Cup, scoring hundreds. And in the semi-finals, India, Sri Lanka, I've already mentioned in one of the videos, Sri Lanka batted first on that pitch where they should have batted second. Winning the toss, India chose to bowl first, surprisingly, and they got 251 runs. Aravinda De Silva getting a 60 odd on that difficult pitch. And India batting second collapsed from 98 for 1 to 120 for 8. Sachin Tendulkar got 65 runs. Sanath Jayasuriya took three wickets for just 12 runs in his 7 overs. So that shows how much the pitch was assisting the spin bowlers. And the crowd got angry, started throwing things on the field, and the match couldn't be played. And India forfeited the match. The match was awarded to Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka going to the finals. And the second semi-finals was very interesting. Australia versus West Indies. Batting first, Australia were reduced to 15 for 4. Steve-O, Marco, Ponting, Taylor all gone. Ian Bishop and Curtly Ambrose were in excellent form. They got 4 wickets, and Australia was struggling at 15 for 4. And then Stuart Law and Michael Bevan put on a big partnership. I don't know how many people know Stuart Law, one of the most talented batsmen Australia have produced, especially in one-day matches. He scored, I think, 72, 70-something, and Michael Bevan got 69. That was such an important partnership at 15 for 4, and Australia managed to get 207, I think, 202 or 207. And batting second, Chanderpaul got 80 runs, but and Australia looked like we're going to win. And the same thing like 1999, where Australia were looking in bad shape against South Africa in that semis, and they say Steve-O gave the ball to Shane Warne and the match changed. Same thing happened in 1996. Mark Taylor thought that they were going to lose. He didn't have a clue, and he just tossed the ball to Shane Warne, and then it was history. Shane Warne taking 4 important wickets of West Indies, and Australia winning just by 5 runs against West Indies in that semi-final. And so that important partnership was Stuart Law and Michael Bevan really turning the match around, because Australia were 15 for 4. And in the finals, Australia and Sri Lanka played. Australia batted first, scored around 240 odd. Mark Taylor got around 70 runs. De Silva got a few wickets, I think 3 wickets. And batting second, Sri Lanka had lost early wickets, but this time Jayasuriya and Kaludana didn't have a big partnership. But then Aravinda De Silva, one of the great batsmen of Sri Lanka and in world cricket, when batted, he scored 107 not out. And Sri Lanka won by 7 wickets. That was the first, and the match was played at Lahore, Pakistan, the finals, Gaddafi Stadium. That was the first time in the history of World Cup that a team chasing had won the World Cup. Aravinda De Silva playing a masterclass innings, batting second against Australia after chasing a 240, a reasonably good score and not a good start. So that was an amazing innings from Aravinda De Silva, and that was an amazing World Cup. A lot of matches, a lot of close matches as well. And some upsets, Kenya, West Indies, and Australia and West Indies refusing to go to Sri Lanka to play. So there were a lot of different things that happened in that World Cup. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my coverage of this 1996 World Cup, a flashback, and I hope to put the next continue to put the remaining World Cups before the World Cup ends. Anyway, thank you for joining. Take care and enjoy the rest of the World Cup. God bless you.